Hi guys, this is Kefren, your favorite French Canadian. Today I'm going to show you how to boost your FPS in New World. The game is currently in alpha right now, but honestly it's not that bad. I'm running the game like at between 90 and 120 FPS on my Ryzen 3900X and my RTX 2070. So it's really not that bad honestly, and the game will release next year. So for now, they need to do a lot of optimization because I did a lot of tests for the graphic parameter, and some graphic parameter are a little bit weird. You don't see the difference between like a low and medium, so they're probably gonna optimize it a lot. So the first thing that you need to do is game mode. Make sure that you remove game mode when you're playing this game. So really important, game mode at off. Make sure that you're not using the Xbox game bar, and make sure that you're not capturing anything, background recording and background audio. The other thing that you can do is the GPU hardware accelerated GPU scheduling. So you just write GPU here and you have a new graphic setting. To have this option, you really need the new version of Windows, so the 2004 one of Windows 10, and make sure that your graphic drivers are updated. So you need to press on over there, and you will need to restart your computer when you do that. I have a dedicated video explaining like what it's doing, etc., and what like improvement that you can expect with this. So that's about it. Another thing that I really need to mention is all those overlay, like Discord overlay, Nvidia overlay. Make sure that you're not using them. It's like causing a lot of like stuttering in games. So just disable them when you're playing this game. We will go inside of the game. I will show you where to find the graphic parameter and like the bandwidth setting. But for the graphic parameter, we will change it in the config file, because right now, I don't know if you guys have this issue, but when I'm changing graphic parameter in the game and I reset my game, I'm losing all the stuff that I changed, so that's why I'm using the config file. So now let's go in the game. So now in the game, first of all, for the graphic parameter, we will not change it in the game because each time you reset your game, I always lose all my parameters, so I'm gonna change it directly in the config file. And when you do it in the config file, your graphic parameter will always be saved in your game. So normally, all the visual and all the options are over there, but we will go in the config file anyway. The only one that you really need to look at is the bandwidth mode. If you have like a pretty good internet, go with high, because by default it was at low. And honestly, I see a difference when I play the game, like when I render stuff in front of me. Like I feel like the game is more snappier also. So you just give more bandwidth to your computer when it's talking to the server. So make sure that you're using high. For sure, if you have like a mid-end like internet, go with medium. And if you have like a really bad internet connection, go with low. It will help you a lot, because if you go with high, you will have some issue for sure. So that's about it for this. So now the config file. To find the config file, you need to go to the C drive, users, the name of your computer, app data, roaming, AGS, New World, and Save Data. To see your app data, make sure that you're seeing your hidden file in Windows, so really important to change that in the View section. So now we will open the user setting.gav save, right click on it. I'm using Notepad++ because I feel like it's a little bit better than Notepad. You see colors and stuff like that, it's more clear, and it's free. So now the config file. So just go here at the VSync enable, make sure it's at false. Also make sure that you're not using the motion blur in this game, so make sure it's at false. So now let's start with the effects quality. Effects, so the value you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 means low, 2 medium, 3 high, and 4 very high. So for the effect quality, here as you can see, particle and volumetric effects are in the same in the effect section, so pretty huge impact on your FPS. If I compare high to low, I was getting 6% of increase, so go with 1 for this one. Lighting quality, also go with 1. You will not necessarily see a big increase in your FPS, but my game was a lot like stable. The game is more stable when you're fighting and stuff like that, because I was getting like a lot of drop at high, and I was wondering which graphic parameter was doing that, and it's lighting quality, so go with 1. Object quality, not a huge deal between, honestly, medium and low. So go with medium. You will gain 2 to 3 FPS versus high. So that's why I'm using medium for this one. Pretty much the same thing for post-process quality. Go with 2. It will, it's like you will save 3 FPS if you compare to high, and no difference with low. Shadows quality, go with low. You will gain 5% in your FPS, but again, I'm a bit surprised. Normally, when you put shadow quality at low, you're getting a lot more FPS. And also, I was looking at the shadow in the game at low. They don't feel really very low, you know. You don't normally when you put low in shadow quality, you see a bit like some, not pixel, but you see that the shadow is really low res. But in this game, I feel like the shadow is still kind of decent. So probably they will optimize it. It's an alpha, you know, and it's running not that bad actually for an alpha. Terrain quality, this one at 1, high versus low, was getting 6% of increase, so this one very important. Texture quality, I'm using very high. It really depends on your VRAM on your card. If you have more than 4 gig, honestly, just go with 4. 3 gig, go with 3. 2 gig, go with 2. And if you have less than 2 gig of VRAM, go with 1. Water quality, I'm putting this one at 1. Also, it was causing a lot of like stuttering when I was near water, so that's why I'm putting at 1. And I don't see a huge difference between 1 and 3, honestly, in the graphic settings. In the image quality, sorry. One more thing, it's the FOV, go with 50. I tried to put my FOV higher than that, like 70 the maximum, and yeah, I was getting a lot of drop and I was losing a lot of FPS because I was rendering more in front of me. So for now, just stay at 50 and it will help you a lot with your FPS. So that's about it. After that, just make sure that you save it and your graphic parameter will save each time you open your game. If you have any questions, just comment in the YouTube section, post me your rig, CPU, GPU, and RAM. I will try to help you the best that I can. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Peace!